often associated with Las Vegas and Reno, but this state holds a much older and more authentic historical heritage. Behind its dry deserts and remote mountains, there are old towns born from the gold rush, silver mining, railroads, and Wild West trade posts. Unlike ghost towns that are completely abandoned, the historic towns on this list are still inhabited, still breathing, and still living modern lives on the foundations of the 19th century. Here are 15 of Nevada's best old towns, which not only preserve stories from the past, but have also managed to survive until today. First up is Genoa, which grew in silence. This town wasn't built by mining euphoria, but by the need for survival. Founded in 1851 as Mormon Station, Genoa is recorded as Nevada's oldest permanent settlement, even before the area officially became a state. Initially, Genoa was just a simple trading post and a rest stop for pioneers crossing the Sierra Nevada. Today, about 1,000 people still live in Genoa, maintaining the 19th century village atmosphere that has barely been touched by time. Its main icon is the Genoa Bar, which opened in 1853 and is often called the oldest saloon still operating in Nevada. Unlike mining towns that collapsed due to boom and bust cycles, Genoa survived through agriculture, a solid small community, and a commitment to historical preservation. Austin lies in the gray area between life and death. It's not a ghost town, but it never really recovered. Founded in 1862 after silver was discovered in the Reese River mining district, Austin was once an important center in central Nevada. However, when the mining boom slowed down, the town didn't collapse. It just shrank, slowly and quietly. Today, Austin is home to about 200 people, making it a perfect example of a living ghost town. Traces of the 19th century are still strongly felt. St. Augustine's Catholic Church, 1866, stands solemnly, while Stokes Castle overlooks the surrounding hills. Many of its buildings are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Not packaged as a shiny tourist destination, Austin instead retains its raw and quiet charm. Goldfield is a town that fell too hard to ever truly recover. Its boom started in 1902, when gold was discovered in the Esmeralda Desert, triggering nearly insane growth. Within a few years, the town housed around 20,000 people, making it the largest city in Nevada at the time. Money flowed freely. Luxury hotels, expensive courthouses, banks, theaters, and even a modern electricity system were built in what was once just sand. After the mines weakened, a great fire hit, and water supply became a serious issue, Goldfield shrank drastically. Today, its population is just a few hundred, living among empty buildings that are much larger than a small town's needs. The legendary Goldfield Hotel still stands, not as a symbol of luxury, but as a marker of ambitions that once went too far. Eureka developed in a more orderly fashion. Since the 1860s, the town grew thanks to silver and lead mining, earning the nickname Pittsburgh of the West, due to its intense metal smelting activities. Unlike boom towns driven by speculation, Eureka was built on real heavy industry. By the late 19th century, thousands of miners made it an important economic center in central Nevada. Today, Eureka's population is 500 people, and its smaller size has helped preserve its historic center. A row of 19th century brick buildings is still in use, with the Eureka Opera House, 1880, and Jackson House Hotel serving as reminders of a past that hasn't been completely left behind. Tonopah was born from luck in the most unexpected place. In 1900, a prospector found silver while searching for water, an almost ironic beginning. This discovery turned Tonopah into one of the most important silver camps in America, earning it the nickname Queen of the Silver Camps. At its peak, the town was home to more than 10,000 people, complete with a newspaper, large hotels, and a vast underground mining network. Unlike many other mining towns, Tonopah didn't collapse entirely. Around 2,000 residents still live there, and it now serves as an administrative center and a key stop in central Nevada. Sites like the Tonopah Historic Mining Park and Mizpah Hotel keep its prosperous past visible. Ely didn't bring the aura of instant luck. The town feels forged by the sound of metal, industrial smoke, and a steady work rhythm. In the early 20th century, copper was discovered in the Robinson Mining District, transforming Ely into a serious industrial hub, not just a temporary mining camp. The construction of the Nevada Northern Railway in 1905 became the lifeblood of the town, transporting ore, labor, and the future. At its peak, Ely's landscape was filled with worker homes, warehouses, and infrastructure clearly designed to last. In the midst of mountains and winters that truly feel harsh, around 4,000 people still call Ely home. The old locomotives at the Nevada Northern Railway Museum are still operational, not as static displays, but as living machines that bring the past back to life. Ely doesn't sell the noisy romance of the Wild West. Instead, it offers a tougher, colder, and more honest version of Nevada. Its history is heavy but real. If Ely was shaped by heavy industry, Fallon grew through function and order. The town developed in the early 1900s as a railroad stop in Lahontan Valley, then found its identity after the Newlands Reclamation Project, 1903, brought water to the desert. This federal irrigation project transformed the dry landscape into productive farmland, making Fallon a town built by water and perseverance, not by mining booms. That role still endures. Tens of thousands of residents now live in Fallon, making it one of the most stable small towns in western Nevada. Since the establishment of Naval Air Station Fallon in 1942, the town has also held a strategic military role. Old buildings, local museums, and a simple downtown preserve the stories of the pioneers. Pioche was never born neatly. It emerged from silver but was raised by chaos. When silver deposits were discovered in the late 1860s, the town was flooded with miners, gamblers, and firearms, while the law came later. In its early years, murder records grew faster than church construction, making Pioche known as one of the most dangerous towns in the Wild West era. Ironically, behind its brutal reputation, Pioche was very serious about the future. In 1872, the town built the $1 million courthouse, a courthouse too grand for a small town, a declaration that chaos should be replaced by order. Around 1,000 people still live in Pioche, surrounded by old wooden buildings, silent mines, and streets that seem to have stopped in the 19th century. While Pioche was shaped by a reputation for violence, Winnemucca found its role through human traffic and mobility. The town grew in the late 19th century as an important junction on the Transcontinental Railroad and a crossroads for trade routes in northern Nevada. From the start, Winnemucca was never a giant mining town. It was born as a stopping point, a place for people to rest, trade, and continue their journey. That function has barely changed. Today, about 8,000 people live in Winnemucca, making it a regional hub for ranching, logistics, and services. Traces of history are still felt in the old buildings downtown and at the Buckaroo Hall of Fame and Heritage Museum, which celebrates Nevada's cowboy and vaquero culture. Not as phenomenal as Goldfield or as rough as Pioche, Winnemucca endures because of its practicality. In contrast to the fast-paced Winnemucca, Lovelock feels like a town that moves slowly. It grew in the late 19th century as a small stop on the Central Pacific Railroad, serving a simple logistical function in the vast and sparsely populated northern Nevada region. The town's scale was small from the start, and it never aimed to be anything bigger. Life in Lovelock revolves around about 2,000 residents, maintaining an intimate small-town atmosphere. Though its name is now often associated with the modern Lovelock tradition, its historical roots are much older, tied to ranching, railroads, and early settlers. Nearby, Lovelock Cave serves as an important archaeological site, showing the presence of Native Americans thousands of years before the town emerged. Dayton takes us back to the very early days of Nevada's formation. The town grew in the early 1850s along the Carson River, making it one of the oldest settlements in the state. Dayton's growth wasn't due to large mines, but to emigrant trails and the Pony Express, serving as a vital stopping point for those heading west. When the Comstock Lode silver boom erupted in the surrounding area, Dayton surged forward, but without losing its community character. Today, around 9,000 people live in Dayton, many of them in areas that still preserve 19th century buildings. Landmarks like Dayton State Park and the local museum emphasize the town's role in Nevada's early transportation and settlement history. After Dayton laid the early foundation of Nevada, Wells emerged as a resting point in the northeastern part of the state, born from the need for a stop on the long rail and trade routes. Its development became more noticeable in the early 20th century when the Union Pacific Railroad crossed the region, transforming Wells into a logistics hub for farmers, miners, and freight haulers moving through remote Nevada. Its role may be simple, but it has endured. Around 1,500 people now live in Wells, maintaining the town's function as a small but vibrant community center. The old train depot, several classic wooden houses, and the modest main street still stand as markers of the past. Wells may not have experienced the economic booms of Goldfield or Virginia City, but it's precisely that stability that has allowed it to endure. While Wells feels cool and calm, Mesquite brings a brighter and warmer shade of Nevada. The town grew from a small pioneer community and agriculture in the Mojave Desert in the early 20th century, then found new momentum thanks to its strategic location near the Arizona border. Its growth was accelerated by highways and modern recreational facilities, without entirely erasing traces of its past. Today, about 20,000 people call Mesquite home, making it a vibrant and friendly small town. Behind its resorts, city parks, and modern amenities, you can still find historic buildings and early settlers' homes that evoke a sense of nostalgia. Among all the old towns in Nevada, Virginia City stands as the most alive. Its history is not merely preserved, it is showcased. It all began in 1859 when the Comstock lode was discovered, sparking one of the largest silver booms in U.S. history. In just a few years, the town transformed from barren land into an urban center in the middle of the desert. By the 1860s, more than 25,000 people lived there, surrounded by theaters, newspapers, grand hotels, and saloons that never emptied. Unlike many mining towns that disappeared, Virginia City refused to be forgotten. Today, hundreds of residents still live in this national historic landmark city. Wooden boardwalks, Victorian-style buildings, and old mines like Challer Mine still stand, nearly untouched by modern touches. Even Mark Twain began his journalistic career here. When the mines collapsed, Virginia City shifted gears, living off historical tourism, museums, and annual festivals that keep its past alive. To close, Caliente shows us the quiet yet character-filled side of Nevada. This town wasn't born from a mining boom. Instead, it grew slowly from the early 20th century as an important station on the Southern Pacific Railroad, linking southern Nevada with surrounding areas. The railroad made Caliente a hub for logistics and workers, a legacy that remains visible today. With a population ranging from 1,000 to 200, Caliente maintains a small, relaxed lifestyle close to nature. Its classic train depot, wooden houses, and quiet streets give the impression that time moves slower here. Caliente feels like a stop left behind in the past, a place where every corner holds a story about pioneers, railroads, and a community that endured the vastness of the Nevada desert.